Hello, welcome to another edition of Touchline Sports. Today, we have decided to take a critical look at the Bolgatanga Sports Stadium, its state and what the future holds for it. Touchline Sports will take you in there for you to appreciate how the entire stadium looks like and what you make of this stadium, and whether it is in the best of state or not, you get to find out in this production. Join us as we take a tour of the stadium. So this is the state of the Bolgatanga Sports Stadium. As you can see behind me, there's currently a match going on. Today, it didn't rain, so it's a bit conducive for match activities. But when it rains, the park is usually very soggy and unable to aid the playing of matches. We have a dressing room that is not completed, and the state of the dressing room is not a place where anybody can stand and even change a shirt, not even a guy. You also have a volleyball pitch, we have the boxing area, we have a basketball court. I mean, so much to talk about. I mean, there's enough space in this stadium for enough work to be done. But this is what we are left with. People have cried, footballers have cried, individuals, corporate organizations, and there's really no response. We do not know when exactly this stadium will be worked on. But until the stadium is worked on, this is the state, and this is how the players of this region, or this municipality if I should say, will have to keep enduring. No matches when it rains, and when it doesn't rain, you come and manage with what you have. Okay, so I'm here with Francis. Francis is a football enthusiast. He loves football so much. He lives in Kumasi. I want to ask him what he makes of this stadium, comparing this to what they have in Kumasi. Francis, how are you?
I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm fine, thank you. Tell me, sincerely, is this a stadium?
This is far below a stadium, the standard of a stadium. I think this should be a grazing ground for cows. Because if you like, if you take a critical look at the stadium, you can see that the grass is not even good for football. You see, there's no security around. The gates are not there. Look at the entrance over there. As I got in, I said to my friend, look, the gates are not even there. Someone can just get in here and vandalism can just take place, just like that.
So, what's your message to the authorities? I
think the government and the RFA should come together and work on this stadium, because since I have been here, the last time I was in this stadium was about 10 years ago when I was in Big Boss, and it was same. I think the best thing that has happened to this stadium is just we have some weeds on it, but it's the same, no sitting place for people to sit, and this is far below. Because we go to Kumasi on Accra, even some community pitches are far better than what we have here as our regional stadium.
Coach Kyoyo, he's a grassroots man. I mean, they actually unearth most of the talents that actually grow and go far in this region. Now, how difficult has it been for you with the nature of training facilities we have in this region?
Yeah, I think very difficult. It has not been easy at all. I think sometimes when we travel for our coaching courses, some of the pitches we use in terms of learning, acquiring our knowledge. When we come back to the region here, normally we find it difficult, to apply what we are taught over there. So normally when we come, we actually have challenges because of the bad pitches we have here.
I mean, this has been it since God knows when. What is the way forward? As a people, what do you think we should do?
Yeah, I think that right after Bolga All-Stars qualify into the Premier League, some of us were thinking that they were going to, bring everybody on board and suggest something so that we can develop this pitch. But we realized that it was left for only Bolga All-Stars to handle, and I think this is the stage they were able to, to. So I think that it is time for us to come together, match out there and let the people hear that we have challenges here. I think that if we are not together, if we are not united, definitely this thing will still remain this way. So I think that it is about time for us to be united and to develop the area.
Now, a lot of times we rely on government to come and do this. You've mentioned that we have to come together. Are the people themselves ready in this region? Are the people, individuals, the various clubs, administrators? Do you see them being ready to work on this?
Yeah, like I said, this thing cannot be done by one club only. That is why I said we have to come together. So for me, if we are not united or together just to develop the place, I think that we are not ready yet. That's what I think.
I mean, we know that anybody can get pressed at any time. You get here for a match and the coach is pressed. He's looking for a place to free himself. Why do you do it?
For me, it has never happened to me. But
Are you sure it has never?
It has never happened to me. When I'm coming here, I know that there's no place for me, so I always prepare myself and come around. But if it happens, I'm sure that there's no place in the stadium that we can do it, unless you rush out there. Either they give you a motorbike ride to go out there and do it, or maybe you have to get an ambulance to go out there and get free yourself. But in the stadium, I think it's difficult for you. When you have challenges, there's no place for you to.
I mean, this is funny. And how do you change? Do you change from the house and come?
Yeah, like I said, when we come into the stadium, we definitely know that there's no place for us to, dress up. So we always dress up at our camps where we normally camp for the game. That is where we dress and come here for the matches.
Doesn't that affect you?
There's a lot of effect in it because now after first half, when we travel to other areas, after first half we are able to get a shower yourself, then maybe relax before you go in for the second half. In a place like this, there's no way you can have such a thing. So I think that there's a lot of effect in it.
Very excited to have Shadrach because Shadrach has played on this pitch for a very long time. He's played on pitches in Accra and he's played on pitches outside of Ghana. We want to find out from him what the differences are. Shadrach, compare and contrast. Comparing this pitch to what you played on in Accra and what you played on out of Ghana. I mean, what's the difference?
Well, this pitch is, I won't say it's bad, but let me say it's better here. But this is, let me say, one of the good pitches in Bolgatanga, let me say it's in the whole. But comparing this pitch to Accra pitches, the ones I've played, like the Accra pitches are far from better than this one because the Accra one, they treat it and they take care of it every day. And you see, even before a game or a training session, somebody comes to the pitch to take care of it before the next day they even come to train and play a game with it. But here they don't take care of it, just leave it to anybody comes in to play a game. But Accra, it's not even look close to the front. You have to ask for permission before you are able to allow, or they will allow you to
play. Okay, so if you had an opportunity growing up to play on the pitches in Accra or those you played on out of Ghana, tell me, would you have been more skillful than you are?
Yeah, because sometimes the pitches also play a part in football because controlling a ball and giving a pass or even scoring a goal plays an important role in football. Because sometimes when you're trying to control the ball on the pitch, it bounces away from you. But the pitches in Accra and outside Ghana, before the ball even comes in, if you are already in the right position, it's easier for you to score than here because here the ball bounces a lot. But there the pitches are well taken care of.
So we would have had a better Shadrach Adubiri than we have now.
Of course.
Okay, so what's your message to the authorities? What should they do for you? At least you are growing and by the grace of God, you might get out of this situation. What of the young ones coming? What's your message to the authorities?
Yeah, what I have to say is that we are not so much lucky that the pitch is right now like this. But when we're playing at the first division, the pitch wasn't like this. But for them coming up and they have a pitch like, we just beg the authorities that they should try and see what they can do for the young ones coming up, because for us, we know maybe with time and the will of God, definitely a lot of us will leave the shores of Ghana and probably maybe play for bigger clubs in Europe. But the younger ones can be praying and begging the authorities that they should look for them and do something for the region, because we've been playing in different pitches and this is the only stadium in this region. And if they don't do something on this, which of the pitches are they going to do something with? So we are begging them for them to just turn their attention and see what they can also do.
You feel uneasy, you are pressed, you want a place to free yourself. Where do you go to?
You have to go to the bush down there because there's no dressing room and there's no even a place for clubs to even prepare themselves, and maybe sometimes when the referees come they have to stand somewhere for the players to go and report. So it's just a disgrace for the region. Just
where's the bush?
Just let me say behind the inner perimeter there's a bush behind it.
So it's inside the stadium.
And sometimes you just imagine a player going there to ease himself, or somebody or one of the fans going there to ease himself and standing at the same place watching the match is just something else. Just beg the authorities to see how best they can do to help the pitches and do some dressing room for the club.
When you talk about passionate followers of football in the Upper East region, you cannot write the histories without writing this gentleman's name. He loves football so much, said that he will not miss any match for anything. How does it feel anytime you leave your house to come to this stadium to watch a match?
You know, football is a passion that I have adopted. And you know, when you are bored and you want to make yourself happy, you have to come and associate yourself with football lovers and you watch ball, and more especially when your team is winning. You know, it gives you great passion and great happiness.
So anytime you come, you either have to stand or sit on a motorbike. I mean, is that a good thing?
Oh, it's never a good thing. We've been talking about this our stadium. The grass is so encouraging at all. And Upper East is a municipality, and at least providing something to us as a stadium like this, you should get a seat for people to sit. At least if we, the ordinary people, we don't get place to sit, at least the VIPs and the more advanced people who also are football lovers has to sit and have a watching.
So what's your message to the authorities?
They should come to our aid. At least not authority as such, but no, those who are the head of our supporting activities in Upper East, maybe they are not pushing out. Maybe the authority might give them the go ahead and give them the necessary resources to work with it. Sometimes some people sit on it, they don't use it appropriately. So I can't blame the authority much. I have to blame our immediate administrators before it gets to the authority.
Okay, so the state of the stadium has really not discouraged him at all. He still comes to watch matches, but of course he's not as comfortable as he would be at the Accra Sports Stadium or at the Baba Sports Stadium. That's Azuma Perry, a very young, skillful player. He has played in academies in this country before. I want to ask him what he makes of this stadium. Is this stadium a good one? What makes it bad?
Because people have been shooting here and people come in and go out anytime they want. So we want them to redo the gates for us. The gates are spoiled and people can come in anytime they want.
Okay, so when you play on this pitch and the pitches you play on are the Right to Dream Academy, what's the difference?
The difference is the track. There's no well proper. The grasses are not well proper cut. And if they pass ball for you, the grasses will catch a ball. So you have to check. You have to go and pick the ball by yourself because the grass will catch the ball. It can't come to you. You have to go there for the ball.
Harry, the president is listening to you. What is your message to him?
I want him to rearrange the chairs in the gates and cut the grasses for us.
And what is your message to the Upper East Regional Minister?
He should build our dressing room for us and our gates. It's spoiled because people have been coming here and going anytime they want. So people have been shitting here, so we want him to do it for us.
This is the start story of the Upper East Region. But for the timely intervention of the Ministry of Youth and Sports and the Honourable Minister, Honourable Isaac Esiama, we wouldn't have benefited from one of the 10 multi-purpose sports centres that is supposed to be in Navrongo. That is Navrongo. This is Bolga, and this is the regional capital. What are the authorities doing for us? If you cannot get us a new one, at least this one should be renovated and it should be of a befitting stature. We are calling on everyone that matters to come to our aid. this cannot be called a stadium. Alright, so you can follow us on all the social media handles. On Facebook, it is Touchline Sports. On Instagram, Touchline_sports GH. On YouTube, it is Touchline Sports GH, and you are good to get all the updates in sports here in the Upper East region and beyond. My name is Hulukusum Tayu. Thank you very much for watching another beautiful edition of Touchline.